All right. Hey everybody. So last night I saw my first ever concert. And it was for a Led Zeppelin tribute band called Get the Let Out. Now, essentially they're this Zeppelin tribute band that tries to do the songs sort of more in the style of the studio versions of the songs. And at first I was a little hesitant to go see them. But then I felt like, why the heck not? It's a Zeppelin show and they're playing near me. And I came back having enjoyed it way more than I honestly thought I would have. So, yeah, this is just gonna be like a little unscripted review account of the concert. I hope you enjoy. So I saw this band on the first of two dates that they are playing at the Paramount in Huntington, New York. It's like this venue, like a small little concert venue, and there's like on-site bars on the inside. In fact, because there's an on-site bar inside the venue, that's why they had to actually draw these little X's on the back of my hands because I'm too young to have alcohol. So to show that and to show I'm too young to have alcohol, they had to draw these on my hands, so they'd know my age. So yeah, that's basically what happened as soon as we got in there. But then after that, we go into the venue itself, like to the it's like the actual like stage area, and to my surprise, it was actually like all just a stand-up concert. I was expecting I was expecting there to be seats. Actually, I think there were seats in the back, but like yeah, there were seats in the back, but like I was expecting the whole thing to be seats, but we were actually standing the whole time. Thankfully, nobody was moshing, thank God. But yeah, I guess that was really my first experience with a standing concert. I don't really recall having to stand while watching like a school performance or anything, because those are the only other concerts I've had to go to, or ones for like school and stuff like that they make you do when you're a little kid. So we're there for like, I don't know, like maybe 10 to 20 minutes, maybe even 30 before the band starts. And like they already have like the whole like stage set up. So the band's like logo and like all like the drums and amps are already there. Like they're already all set up. And surprisingly, a lot of the people that were there were like really old. Like I was not expecting there to be that many people that were that old in the audience. I mean, sure, there was a few people around my age, a few people around my parents' age, a few people around, like just around the age of most people I've met. But no, to my surprise, there was actually a lot of really old people there, like people who were like teenagers or young adults in the 1970s. Like, in fact, I actually talked to this guy who actually saw Zeppelin in 1969, actually, which was actually pretty cool. I never thought I'd meet somebody who saw them all that time ago. So yeah, despite the fact that we had to wait a little long, I think we just came a little bit too early. But despite that, it was nice, conversing with some people who actually, saw the band back in the day. And, just meeting up with the people I was going to see the show with. Yeah, it was overall just a very nice little warm-up, and they were playing like some like some rock music in the background, get you pumped up. Surprisingly, none of it was Zeppelin that they were playing over like the speakers, but anyway.
Action is coming! Action is coming!
So the way the show started off was that they had like this I don't know what do you call it, like this introduction sound thing. So like signal the start of the show, and the whole room, goes dark. And like the whole like introduction tape thing is, just like a tape playing a couple snippets from some Zeppelin songs with some commentary over it. Like I remember there was one that was all like, Led Zeppelin is the best band in the world. There's nothing like this. And then there was another one that was all like, it was all like limousines and stuff. Who wouldn't want to be a rock star? And then Jimmy Page's voice comes on, and he's like, I welcome you to Get the Lead Out. And then the band starts by playing rock and roll. And like, I'm all like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. So, yeah, as you just saw, I filmed quite a bit of this concert. I only really skimmed out on a couple of songs, I think. But I think I got most of the heavy hitters from the concert. So yeah, they start off with rock and roll, and it's basically how you'd expect it to be. It sounds like as they intended. They tried to get the sound of the studio version, and it was one of the songs that didn't really change that much when they played live. Like when the real band will play it live, to be fair. So that one was fine, and yeah, it sounded good. It was a nice little introduction for a bit. And then after that, they go into Good Times, Bad Times. Again, another song that didn't really change much the very few times the real band played it live. So, yeah, this band, something I like is that they actually did do quite a couple of songs that the real band actually never played in a live setting. So I like that. But yeah, they started off with those two songs. And while I was watching it, at first, like, when I saw like the various videos of this band playing live on like the internet, they always showed like the long-haired guy, like the long guy with the long blonde hair playing guitar. Like it seemed like he was supposed to be like the main guy. But as like time went on throughout the concert, I started to realize I actually preferred the AC/DC looking guy, because there was this guy like with like a beret and a Les Paul who would come out every now and then, and he sort of became like the main guy of the concert, like the main guitarist of the concert, it felt. In fact, he was the one who does the solo for Stairway at the concert. And yeah, the guy with the double neck, who's again the guy with the long blonde hair, he wasn't even playing the solo, so I thought that was interesting. He was just playing the rhythm. Like I was expecting the guy with the double neck to play the solo, because that's typically how it's done, but I'm surprised with that. And I was expecting them, if they weren't gonna do it with the double neck, that they were gonna do it with like a Telecaster, because that's what Jimmy used on the studio version of the song. But no, the guy just comes out on his Les Paul and just like shreds it, and it's really cool. It was really cool. They had like all like the cool green lights going off and stuff, and everybody was just jumping and dancing around to it. It was really cool. Yeah, like they played, a bunch of heavy hitters, a couple, they actually did play a couple deep cuts in the, acoustic set. Yeah, in the acoustic set they actually played, yeah, Hey Hey What Can I Do, surprisingly. That's a song I was legitimately surprised to see. Like, I was not expecting that one. And I was not expecting the crowd to know the lyrics to that song as well as it did. In fact, like, they knew a lot of the lyrics, a lot of the songs that I otherwise wouldn't expect them to know. Like the crowd was like singing along to almost the whole thing. and yeah, it felt almost like I was with people I belonged with. Now, if I had a couple qualms with the way they did the set list, personally, I think they put the ocean and 10 Years Gone way too early into the set list. At least that's what I personally think. I think they should have put it maybe a bit more later on, maybe like a little before Kashmir or something. Because really, those aren't like early show type songs to me personally. Like they just didn't sound like they should go where they put them. Like like the ocean has like that sort of like a like 50s ending style guitar solo. Because again, it's a song that ends off the album it's on. As for 10 Years Gone, it doesn't end off the album it's on, but it's during like the final parts of the album. So, at the very least, that song comes near the end. So, personally, I think those songs should have been maybe a bit more towards the end of the concert. But hey, maybe they just couldn't fit them in anywhere else. There also were a few songs that I personally would have liked to have heard in the set list, but I guess they just couldn't really fit them in. I mean, it was a fairly large set list when you think about it. I mean, it's a fairly long concert too, like how the real band does it. But I think there were a couple songs I would have liked to have seen personally. Like Heartbreaker, Dazed and Confused. They didn't play either of those, interestingly, but maybe they just couldn't fit those in. But yeah, despite like the fact that I felt some key tracks were missing from it, still I overall felt that that the set list was definitely full of good choices. And it's hard for me to say what my favorite track they played was because there's a lot of good ones in there. Like they played the Wanton song, they played 10 Years Gone, Nobody's Fault But Mine, When the Levee Breaks, like a lot of good stuff. Now, as for my thoughts on them sort of trying to be more like, not like an impersonation act, but sort of like a recreation act of the studio versions, for that, they do a really good job. And at first I thought they were trying to pitch themselves as being superior to all the other tribute bands, because they do the studio versions, like how everybody's heard them. But, like that's how it came off to me at first, admittedly. And at first, that's one of the reasons I was a little hesitant to see them, because I figured they'd be like the live versions of the song suck. But no, like they weren't really like that at all, thankfully. And they said, we're just Zeppelin fans like all of you. Like they weren't trying to be like superior or anything. They weren't trying to say that they were superior to any other tribute bands or impersonation acts. They were just saying that they were just here just to play some Zeppelin songs to include everybody, because most people know the studio versions. So they just wanted to include everybody in it. And it was really nice. Overall, it was a beautiful little concert. And again, the flaws with it were a bit more like minor, I guess you could say. Like, sure, some things are, it's not really super accurate to the band's performances, but it's not supposed to be. Sure, there are some spots where it does feel like you're seeing the real band perform, like when they're during the acoustic set when they're sitting down, on all their guitars and various instruments. It sort of felt like it, and like during Whole Lot of Love when he does the theremin solo and he's like, that was pretty cool. But yeah, so for the most part, it was really good. The only other flaws I'd have to point out with this is that, after Kashmir, for whatever reason, they try to make it seem like the show is ending, and it's not even as though the last three songs, When the Levee Breaks, Stairway, and Whole Lot of Love, are supposed to be like encores or anything. They just briefly just go off stage, not like it's like a set splitter or anything like they did with Hey Hey What Can I Do? Not like that. They just straight up just went off the stage for a couple seconds, not even for that long. And then some guy comes out and he's all like, do you guys want him back? And we're like, yeah. Like, it kind of felt a little, pointless personally, because it didn't really feel like quite an encore. It just felt more like, I don't know, some weird scripted part of the show. In fact, the other flaw I had with this is that a lot of this felt very scripted, like a lot of the parts of the concert. For example, when they were talking about like, oh, why do we look like this? Why are there 3 guitarists and stuff? Like I'd seen a little bit of a video of this band, and it was very much like the same script. It felt like they did the joke with the Aerosmith thing where the guitarist looks like some guy from Aerosmith. And then they play like a little bit of some Aerosmith song, but I guess it was pretty funny, but it felt a little scripted in some areas, but hey, it wasn't, that's more of a nitpick, I guess you could say. And overall, it didn't really change much. Overall, this was still a great concert. If they're playing in your area, I highly recommend going see them, especially if, for example, Jason Bonham, who I wanted to see, isn't playing in your area. Unfortunately, he isn't, but if Get the Let Out is playing in your area, I highly recommend going to see them. They put on a great show, and even if you prefer the live versions of Led Zeppelin songs, you're still gonna like this. Like, you're still going to. It's still, just feels great. You're with other Zeppelin fans. The musicians are other Zeppelin fans, and they try to emphasize that, and it just feels beautiful. Even if you prefer the live versions, like me, it's still just a beautiful, fun concert to go to. So, if they ever play in your area, go see them. Oh, and there's one more thing I would like to mention. Oh my god, we got the set list! We got the set list, guys! We got the set list! Yes, I actually got the set list for this concert, like the paper they used to write the set list. Now, I got this from a person who was with me at the concert, and he usually, when he goes to concerts, he usually tries to find a way to get the set list. I think in this example, he just asked for it, and he got it, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. That he got like the whole set list here, and don't worry that it's ripped off a little here. Whole Lot of Love was the last song they played, but yeah, I got a flipping set list, and I was excited about it. One of my first ever concert souvenir, I guess you could say. It's awesome that I got this, even if it is just a piece of paper. But it's neat to have a band set list in your home. So yeah, overall, for my first concert, I loved it. You could probably find my face on their Facebook page, actually, because they did this thing where they took a photo of, like, the whole crowd, which was pretty cool. So you can probably find my face in there. I think I was able to. But, yeah, overall, this was a great concert. I highly recommend going to see them. And also, like, Jason Bonham and, like, maybe some impersonation acts, which I do want to see as well. So I could sort of get an idea of both, like live Zeppelin in person and sort of like this studio Zeppelin in person. So, yeah, overall, go check them out. These guys are great. All right, have a good day, everyone.
Next time, baby. Next time.